Hello friends, welcome to Behind the Designs, where I create a beautiful life through creative planning. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be setting up a daily routine for my classic size happy planner. I've got some stuff here, and we're going to jump right in. All right, so I pulled out a few supplies for my paper. Most importantly, I have pulled out, I have some yellow bordered happy planner paper. It's very faint, but it is a dot grid. And I have some stencils and stamps. I have my happy planner sticker book. I have the essential dates and numbers happy planner sticker book, as well as the rainbow boxes. I have this fun little thing because I chose I don't know if I'll use them, but I chose some Tombow markers. And rather than, as you know, I was like testing the colors all the time, I had created this cute little spiral bound index card notebook. It came from the dollar store. I featured it on my blog, and I had gone through and I color swatched all of my Tombow markers that I have so far, so I can easily match things. So that has really come in handy. I'm just going to kind of tuck it off up here. And then I also have some Tim Holtz Distressed stamps, as well as this fun little brush, because I'm going to use that with my stencils. So let me go ahead and put some of this aside. And I think, so what I want to do is, I was inspired by, of course, daylight savings is changing on Sunday. And, so I had these fun clocks. There's a stamp here. And this one has a stencil with, again, some more clocks and mechanical features of the clock. And I'm going to stencil that onto my paper. And then I'm going to use my stickers to accent the things that I need to for writing in my schedule. So I think I'm liking this big one. So let's see, this one didn't have it. It only had a stamp. I'm going to kind of tuck some things aside. And some of these I hadn't even used yet. So I, will pick things up when they go on sale. And I always know because they're stuck, the stencil is stuck to the stamps with a little round circle. So I always know if I haven't used it yet. Let's see. So this is just some stamping. May or may not use that. The question is how I wanted to get my clock on there. And I'm just going to pull all of these out. And then I'm going to pull over, sorry for that loud noise. I think this one I haven't used either. Okay. So this one is the stamp. Let me see if I can get this off. Might as well crack this open, right? Let's see, here we go. Okay, so then there's the clock. Keep those separate. So I think because the paper is bordered in yellow, so I sort of have, in case you haven't figured it out, kind of like a purple yellow theme going on. And so I just pulled out all the things I may need. And again, I may or may not use it. We'll see how, for me, I like to create sort of on the fly. Like I have a general idea, but then I like to just kind of get creating and see where it goes. Sometimes when you don't have an exact plan, it turns out really nice. So I'm going to use the purple and in the stencil part of it. So I'm going to take a look at, let's see. I want to use this stamp. And I'm thinking I am basically going to create, this is already bordered to the page, right? I think I can do this. Let me work with this one. The nice thing about these stencils is you can flip them around and do the same thing. So I could do this up here and then flip it this way and do this down here, but that would probably take up too much. But I could do something like this. So let's do that. I am going to stencil 1 clock. I'm just lining it up here. Or 2 clocks up here, and then I'm going to move it down. So just to make sure, let me get a scrap piece of paper. Okay, so I don't anticipate going over on my desktop, but I don't want to get this clock here. So I'm just going to kind of cover this up a bit. And we're just going to dive in. So this ink that I'm using, I'd already pre-tested some purple colors to decide which ones I want to use. So this one here is Shaded Lilac. And I'm actually going to move it over here since when I craft, I'm also left-handed. So I'm going to move this over. Now, I could do the spaces as well that are in between the clocks, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to try and catch the clocks. So let's get started. So this you just need to brush. It's a fun little, so there's typically a dabber with a sponge tip on the end that you use with stencils, but you can also use these brushes as well. These, I haven't used too much, so I don't know how much I'll have to build with them, but we'll see. We'll give it a shot together. Let's see how much color came off. And you know what? I'm going to grab a piece of washi, because if I start stenciling and I need to get more ink, I don't want my stencil to move. So let me put that there. Let me give it a little extra boost at the bottom. Hopefully that won't rip my paper. Let's see how well we get this color. So let's start up here. Ooh, that came out a lot. You know, from the brush it doesn't look it, but yet, woo, that was a lot of color. Okay, so let me just try and build this, because I do want to just get the edges, not on the inside. So let me just see how much I can get on here. And you just kind of gently brush it back and forth. You can buff it. And some of the color did come over, but that's okay. I'm not overly worried about perfection. Let's see if I can get this one. I probably didn't need any more. I'm learning, at least with this so far, that it does pick up a lot of color. So maybe I'll build this one and do this a little lighter. I mean, it isn't going to be a problem if it's darker either way. But again, I was just kind of testing this new brush system out. I think I used this once before, like a smaller version of this, which has a bit more control. Oopsie, there we go. Woo, thank gosh that was in place. The little dabbers, you have a little bit more control, and then a smaller brush is a little bit more control. The bigger you go, the less, like it's snagged, the brush snagged on the stencil. So just as a side note, just in case you try it, I'm just trying to get the edges more. All right, let's see. I'll hold this in place. There we go. Look how cute. I think I'm going to leave it that shade. So let's move on down to the bottom. And let's get the bottom done. Okay, so for this one, now the other thing too, at least I haven't seen anything about it. Like when you use one of these brushes, you probably will want to label the back, because the color is very saturated in it. So you may find that it's not going to be beneficial to keep like cleaning it, or what is it I want to say? You can't really clean it. So you might find it beneficial if you label it, that you'll always know what color's on here. I can't tell what color I put. See the color of the bristles? So that is one downfall. Okay, so what I decided to do in between So I have to, let me do this first. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. But my stencil's wet, has color on it. So I think I wanna come back on this side and finish this one off just because of the way it's on there. But I am going to do the one down here first because if I flip it, if I clean it and flip it over, then I gotta clean it again to do this side. So I'm gonna do this side first. So we're gonna put one here and then one here. And again, I'm gonna block this off. I pulled out my little stamp cleaner. I have some paper towel handy. We'll get that opened again. And then I'm gonna get this one down here. Hopefully not picking up anything else. Okay. And I gotta make sure I don't get it on the outside too. Okay. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. So let's see if I go this way. Let's try and buff outward. Yeah, so that's the only thing I'm finding with this brush is that the, it does snag on this stencil quite a bit. And I am going to do an extra measure under here. As I get kind of towards that edge, it's going to, at some point, get on my desktop. So let's just keep going here. It seemed like it had been forever since I'd created anything, so I kind of wanted to hop on, you know, my little, you'll see this on Saturday, so it's kind of like a studio Saturday project. So I'm kind of just pushing it into the top. The other thing are these brushes are very flexible. So you might be able to see that moving. That, you know, is good because if you kind of craft heavy, sometimes I do, it'll keep your projects on the softer side. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of move around now. I see this stencil kind of, you know, buckling and moving as I go around. So again, I'm just trying to take it slow so I don't mess this stencil area up because I have it washied down, but it may still pick up. And I don't want the design to be blurred or doubled in any way. I think that's good enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this cleaned off so that I can do the other side on that top one. Stick those there. Since this is kind of messy business, I'll filter this this out when I clean it. All right, so let's get side 2 of this. So to do that, I'm going to flip this over this way. I'm just going to go back in the opposite direction. And I'll try and get it as even as possible. So if I do this, let's do that. Just lining it up to sort of the image that's already there, in the hopes that I can get it to stay within that area. So let me bring this paper back under here. Okay, and here we go. All right, so I think this is going to be good. So I'm going to go ahead and close that just so I don't hit it. Perfect. All right, let me go ahead. I'll filter this out and that will dry while I am cleaning my stamp. Okay, so here is the stenciled page. Now what I'm going to start doing is building my boxes. So I basically want to break out my daily schedule into 3 parts. So that I'm looking to do morning, so morning, afternoonish, and then evening. And just looking at this, let me grab my longer box first. I had, oops, my page is a bit damaged. Okay, I'll try and ignore that. I was looking for my boxes and I wasn't picking up exactly the one I wanted. So let me see if I can pull those out. I chose 2. They're both long boxes. And so one is really long. Again, I was looking at the yellow. I think I'm going to try and put this long box there. I mean, that would be really long. Are they both the same yellow? This is bright. Oh yeah, they're about the same yellow. Now this one would probably, as you can tell, since this area is most open and it doesn't have the yellow, I'm trying to put that one on this side. This one doesn't cover this box, so maybe I'll end up using that after all. Okay, that made that simple. Let me go ahead and take my page markers out and let me grab this one. I want to get this one down because I knew that I wasn't going to have enough area to do the size box for each of the ones I was thinking of. So I'm going to set this off to the side. So let's get this one on. So again, we're looking at, if I keep it to there, let's do that. And then it kind of gives it yellow on both sides. That works for me. Now the key is getting it on straight. Straight? Looks like it. Okay. Now I want to shoot over to the, so I have my washi and then the alphabet. So as you know, I wanted to create a spring, daylight savings, daily routine. And I kind of got that spring vibe. So that's why I'm using the spring book. And there's letters in here that I wanted to use. Let me grab my tweezers. All right, so as I'm talking, I'm thinking, do I want to get my boxes down first and then do the letters or vice versa? So I think I'm going to be doing this so that I make sure I have enough room. I think I need to get my boxes down. So the other ones are in here. And I'm just going to take ones that, again, kind of already have that purple in it. So let's see, this is one. And then there is one more. And I think I most love this sticker book because of the little boots that are in there, the little yellow rain boots. And of course, I think I used them all. No surprise there. Let's see, here's the letters. And then there should be one more box. Before I put them down, I want to make sure, here it is, that I have enough room to get them both in there. Okay. So, and this may not be an exact order. Like it may not be exactly morning, afternoon, evening. You know, I may have to adjust. Okay, let's do this. And now that I have 2 of them in my hand, oh, I was going to measure. That's why. I just don't want them kind of on top of each other. Plus, I also have some washi I was going to use. So if I put this one here, I could put this one here. So let's just grab a sticker and go. This wasn't straight on the bottom, so I'm just going to kind of fix it. I think that looks more straight. And the nice thing too about using the Distress Oxide inks is it dries quick. I can write on it right away. And so that is very beneficial. I was going to put this one here, stagger it a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to put it right up against the page edge. And then in theory, it should be straight, right? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. All right, now I'm going to go to the letters because I want to make sure I have enough room. Now these letters, I'm going to do my best to choose as many of the purple as possible. I just don't know if I'll be able to get them all in there. So let's do this. Let's do the little wax paper trick. Or you know what? Let's forego that. See, I'm jumping around. What I basically want to do is use the stickers to create daily routine. So since I have lines on here, I don't technically need that. So let's go with, there were blue-green ones. I don't know if I'm going to like these because they have a pink border. Okay, I thought they were going to be usable. So let me backpedal here a bit. Let's take that off. I thought for sure that the letters were going to work, but they're not. So I'll figure it out before we finish. Let's see, I did want to get these flowers on here because I love these purple flowers. So this is the longest. And I love them because they're so thin. Like they don't take up a lot of space. In fact, is this going to fit my whole page? Pretty much. So I'm just going to put it right to the very bottom. It did not end up going the full length. So I don't want to put it in a spot where it doesn't line up a little bit better. And it does go over my image, but that's okay. I am not worried about that. I'm just going to lift this one a bit. Page seemed to be buckling. And then I'm going to grab this one, the smaller of the 2, or 4. And I'm going to put this one up here. I love that little floral. I may come back and put those in periodically here and there, but for the moment, I'm going to close that one out. There was also this sticker. I was going to put it as a backdrop to something, but I'm thinking I'm going to leave that out for the moment. Use the stickers. Okay, so now my dates. Is there any letters in here? No. Okay. So let me grab my alphabet. All right. So I just grabbed out my alphabet letters for the daily routine. I'm going to flip through this one quick. Again, I'll edit out. Okay. That made that easy because look what I found. purple letters. Perfect. Okay, so let's get the daily routine in here. Let's see, we need E. In fact, I could do, if I did daily at the very top, let's start with daily. Sorry to be jumping around on you. Just wanted to make sure that, and I like that they're clear. That's another bonus. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting this set up the way I need it to be. Okay, that was a bit of a struggle bus to get that on there, but I think I got it right. Let's keep going. DA, make sure we spell it right. That's always a key component. So I usually strive for perfection in what I'm doing, but that A really kind of threw me for a loop, and my letters aren't exactly perfect, but you know what? I'm gonna go with it. So I now have routine. I was gonna put this on a different line, but maybe I'll keep it all on one. Okay. Woo, that was challenging. All right, so we have our letters, daily routine. Now what I want to do for each of the boxes is label what is what. So as I said, I'm probably not going to make it exactly morning, afternoon, evening. I think I'm going to do morning and evening as these, and middle, afternoon, which is business. So it's basically going to be morning, business, home. So let's do that. Okay. Now to keep all the, having lots of different colors of purples and yellows, I think what I'm going to do is go to a marker or pen. So for this one, I'm going to use my gel pen just because it will give me the size of ink that I needed. So this one is morning. Okay, so there's morning. And then this is going to be, it's kind of morning, afternoon. So I don't want to say afternoon and I don't really want to say morning. So I think what I'm just going to call it is business. I think that's the best option. Okay. And then this one, how can I do this one? I think for this one, I may just write it down here because I don't want to write over these. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll put this one, Okay. So for my schedule, you know, and again, this isn't exact. There are days where things won't kind of work out that way. But this is kind of, you know, the ideal schedule, the ideal daily routine. So I want to pull back over. I was going to use the time, you know, for the times I was going to use these stickers, but in the end, I kind of wanted it to match the handwriting, so I just let it be. What I do want to do though, since it's spring, so these are the boots I'm talking about. These cute little yellow rain boots. I want to put a few decorations in here before I finish. So I'm going to put this one over here. I wish this was clear. You know, there is a benefit to having the clear stickers. Let's see if I can't find some clear. Okay, so there were no clear, so I'll just go with this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it to the edge as far as I can. So all I'm using is my scissors to kind of go around and give it a little bit better of a fussy cut. So I take up less space in the yellow area. All right, let's see if this will work for me. I just didn't want to cover up too much of the yellow if I didn't need to. And in fact, let's go one step further. I'm just going to trim this one side down a bit. It doesn't look right from my perspective. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to pull over, if I could find it. Okay, so this was the paper that I was using behind my stencil. All I'm going to do is fold it up so I don't ruin my desktop. And I'm going to get out my super sharp X-Acto. And I don't want to stick it down all the way, but what I want to do is cut out the handle. So it may not be clear, but I'm going to try and make it a little bit clear, let's say, for lack of a better way to put that. And that came right off on the paper. That worked out great. Okay. So I'm going to bring this back over, because now some of that yellow will shine through the handle. So see how that looks now, a little bit better. Okay. Cute. So I'm going to scatter in a few more. I don't want to use pink, strangely enough. I want to either stick with the yellow or purple. Like this has pink in it, but it's not something that is overly, you know, large. So all I'm doing is kind of looking for, although this is not just a spring thing, it's when I'm creating it for daylight savings. So I'm just kind of trying to make it in that way. You know, kind of springy, bright, sunny. I could have used this washi too. So we're looking for, so I can use this yellow pot. So I'm going to take this yellow pot, and again, it has some, and I'm just going to kind of throw some of these around. This one I'm going to put down here. Again, I'm going to trim up the edge a bit. And this is what I mean by creating. Like, I have a plan, but I need for it to be more organic. I need it to not be so regimented that it stifles creativity. That's how I prefer to work. Everyone has their methods. This is just one of mine. So that ends up, you know, that sometimes is going to make my videos longer, but it's going to result in my eyes, a much more functional and decorative planner page than if I just quickly threw something together and created a page that I wasn't even really going to use. So I do want to make these functional in every way, but I also want them to look pretty. Okay, just a bit more trimming on this one. And I'm only doing that because they are kind of large, so I kind of want to take away as much of the border as possible. I'll put this one here. Okay, let me quickly get through here because I know I'm always aware of my time. I don't want any of these. This is not a, oh, I could have used clear stickers, but that's okay because it's on white. I did have a clear one, but since this was paper, I would rather it be the same. I don't want to use the shovel. And these are pink. I don't want to do those. The umbrella is cute though. Where could I put my umbrella? Let's see. So I'm going to move my sunglasses because it seems kind of strange you'd have your sunglasses next to your umbrella, right? At least for me it does. All right, so I'm going to put this on a different location on the page. And this I am going to do here. Oop, maybe not there. And then these, I hope they're going to fit over here because these are not much smaller. Let's put them here. Okay. Very good. And then there was this one. There is this purple, but since I have that there, I think I'll try and leave it. If it was smaller, I could have fit it over here. So I'm just looking to see which ones I can kind of pop in there. Of course, at this time, although St. Patrick's Day is coming up, I'm not going to use those stickers. I am going to throw a few of these purple hearts in here because, well, I love hearts and flowers and spring and all those pretty things. And let's see, pink, silver. I am just going to use these. I love these florals, but I don't want to get too florally. Again, I'm trying to make this not floral, which for me is kind of hard. Let's see, I think that's it for this, right? Yes, okay. So now let me take a look here. So I do want to fill a few things in, but I also, let me find my stamps and stencils. There was this stamp that I kind of wanted to get in here somewhere. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out a few more supplies because I am going to do some of the stenciling. I'm going to do that in yellow, but I need my dabber for that. All right, so I have some stamping blocks, and then this is the dabber I was speaking of. So this is the dabber, and then the little sponges that go with it. Now, I haven't done it yet, but what I wanted to do was label, these are actually in the jewelry section of Michael's. They fit these little dabber sponges perfectly, and you can stack them. I can keep all colors together that I wanted to. I do need to label them, but I don't remember which one was which. So I think this one was this. And that's the downfall of not putting your stuff away and labeling it. So let's see. And then all I do, which of course that didn't turn right, is they do still have a film on them, so it's magnetic, it's like a Velcro. And so all I do is put the top upside down, and then I can stamp it without getting it on my hands. So let's see if I can figure out which one this is. I think this is this one. I'm gonna have to go with it because I don't honestly know. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scatter some of these numbers across the page. There is also the other method you can use with stencils are they go on the top of your finger and you just use it that way. They're a little bit smaller. So those might work a little easier for you. Let's do 28, 428. No rhyme or reason with the numbers, just putting some on the page for my decorative use. Okay, I don't want to overkill it, so I'm going to leave it as done. I am going to quickly clean my stencil. Okay, so one more element. I do want to get a bit of this stamp on there. And now that I've made the page busier, I am going to need to adjust a few of the letters. I'll do that in a sec. Let me just set this up so I can get it stamped. And I'm going to use purple because, again, I don't want to mix too many colors. I do want to do... I'm thinking how to... Well, yeah, I can't get it with... So I'll just go with it. I'm not sure what the little things are on the side, but they're going to end up in the picture because I could get around it, but it'll take some time. Ooh. Making a mess. All right. And then over here, so this one I want to just border this box. So let's see if I'm going to be able to do this. Oh, you know what? I was going to do the full thing in the middle. Let's see if I can get this all stamped. Okay. Let me clean my stamp and then I will get some writing in and we'll be done. All right. So what I want to do now, just to kind of give the lettering just a little bit more, I am going to bring out my Fudenosuke pen because I want to give it a bit more oomph. And to make sure I don't get anything on me, I'm just covering up my page. And so see, it is still a bit damp. So luckily I didn't get that on my sleeve. Oh, this one should be fine. Okay. So I wanted to write a few things. Let's hope that it's dried enough. Okay, so for example, in the morning, I have a couple ways to do this. I think since I already tested these colors, I am going to do this. Okay, so this is basically how I'm going to do this. All right, so here is my daily routine. It was important for me to get down what I was doing at what time and for what. Only because with all the planners and the things that I do daily, the planners I work in and the work that I do, I needed to get it organized. So it was the perfect time with daylight savings coming. I got a bit of the time clock thing working and getting that set up. I've got a theme going, you know, with the clock and everything. I've used all the craft supplies almost. You know, I've used stenciling, I've used stamping, stickers, lettering. So it's just an explosion of purple and yellow. And I used my Tombow Fudanasuki also. Then what I'm going to do is I have these blocks for each of the segments of the day that I have outlined. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through each box. I'm going to put something in it. And then each day I can reference this. What am I going to start doing when I come in here? And I just realized part of my planner routine will include a updating my task list. So, you know, there's things that I will be doing that maybe aren't shown on here, but I'll reference another sheet for. So, long story short, I hope, since this is Saturday, Studio Saturday, did something creative. I just needed to do something. It's one thing to plan, but you know, you gotta, at some point you're planning for something, whether it be a vacation or, you know, your finances or a craft project or whatever. You're doing planning for a purpose. So there it is. And I will finish this up and get in there the things that I need to. And I think it's all bright and sunny and perfect for daylight savings, springtime, and I'm ready to start working with this. I love that I have it all in one place too. Makes it so much easier on my brain. Got a lot going on in there, and you know, make it easy on yourself. So I thank you so much for joining me today. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well. And turn on your bell notification so you know when I post my next video. Anything that I can mark that I use today in the description box, I will put, and I'll have a link for you to follow for that. And I appreciate your support and continued watching of my videos and the things that I'm doing in my planner and sometimes in my home if it's organization. So I hope you have a wonderful day as you create a beautiful life. Thank you.